I set a pretty lofty goal for myself for the year 2022. Is that the year we're in? Yes, 2022. And that goal was to earn $40,000 in net profit from reselling alone. That's not including YouTube money. That's not including affiliate marketing. That's not including anything but the profit that I make from reselling used clothing. I am not even a little bit close to meeting that goal. Not even a little bit. And it's because of things like lack of motivation, getting COVID, and then getting COVID again, going on a ton of trips and basically not being home all summer long. I don't know, just not being motivated. The economy. There was a war on the other side of the country. I don't know, can I use that as an excuse? Inflation and gas prices. So yeah, I'm not even close to meeting that goal. And in order to make $40,000 of net profit in a year, it came down to about $833.33 that I had to earn in net profit a week. This week that we're going to talk about in today's What Sold video is one of the only times this year that I have met that goal. So even though I am so far away from meeting the goal that I made for myself at the beginning of the year, we are going to rejoice and celebrate in the fact that for 1 week, everything went right. Let's talk about what sold.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tremors for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I'm a part-time reseller on a variety of reselling platforms, and I've been sharing my part-time reselling journey with all of you for, I don't know how long it's been. Has it been like 3-4 years? It's been a while. And one thing you may notice is that behind me, it is a lot cleaner now. And I guess I'll just share with you one kind of big life update is we are planning to move 5 minutes away from our current house. We're not like going across the country or anything, although there is, a huge part of me that would love to do that. I actually just got an allergy test done because my asthma has been atrocious. And I sent my results to my brother and he just responded with LOL. So basically you're allergic to the Midwest. I'm allergic to everything here. But no, we're not moving anywhere super cool like Seattle, which I would love to do, or like Hawaii. I'm just moving 5 minutes away. And it's because it's a better house for not just our family, but like our extended family, thinking about, parents who might end up moving in with us, things of that nature. And so that's why it looks so nice behind me, is because I have to let strangers into my home to look at my home so that we can sell this house so we can move into our new house. So that's why it looks the way that it does. And if you notice, that means you're a faithful viewer. So thank you. Thank you for watching my videos. But in today's video, we are going to be talking about what sold for me in the week of November 7th through the 13th. And like I shared earlier, this is a monumental week because I actually made some good money. And the reason for that, I believe, is because I just got to listing. I just listed a ton of stuff, a ton of great stuff, and a lot of that stuff sold really quickly, which turned a really great profit for me. So I'm going to share all of those items with you in this video so that you have an idea of what you should be on the lookout for the next time you are outsourcing. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you enjoy learning about what kind of stuff resells well online, then definitely make sure that you subscribe. And if you learn anything and enjoy yourself while watching this video, I would super duper appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button. But let's get right into it and start by talking about Monday, which was November 7th. So the first thing that sold was a new to me brand. It was the brand Aro, ARO, I'm not sure. And at this moment, I don't even remember what it's like a subset of. I want to say Ms. Moose, but I could be so wrong. I'll look it up and tell you right here. But it was this pair of green perforated leather lace-up sneakers in a European size 41 or a US women's size 10. I actually picked up these identical shoes in a different colorway as well at a pop-up consignment sale that comes into my town twice a year. I just thought they were really cool looking. They just looked very like trendy and modern. So I was like, okay, let me just give them a try. And turns out that someone really liked them. I had them priced at, I believe, $65. I think someone sent me an offer of $55. And I had $10.05 into them from that pop-up consignment sale. That was my average cost of goods for that particular day that I shopped. So I made a profit even after my cost of goods and Poshmark's fees of $33.95. Not a bad way to kick off the week, especially because these sold within a week of being listed. The next thing to sell was actually a 3-piece bundle, and I was so thankful because one of these items is something that I've had, oh Lord, I think it's been like 2 solid years, maybe 2 years and some change, like a few months, but just far too long. And so I was very happy to get rid of them. But they were all men's pieces, all men's sweaters. The first thing to sell in this bundle was this Banana Republic green luxury silk cotton cashmere blend sweater in a size medium. This was like a big thing at Banana Republic not too long ago. And maybe they still have this like luxury blend. I don't know. But there was a time when they were really big on this silk cotton cashmere blend. So I had $2 into this because it was something that my friend gave me before he moved to the suburbs, and I just gave him a ton of money for the stuff that he gave me, and it came out to like $2 an item. The next item was also from that same friend, and it was this Banana Republic Factory gray ribbed grandpa cardigan sweater in a size medium. That particular grandpa cardigan did get a decent amount of attention on a ton of different platforms, but ended up selling within this bundle. And again, I had about $2 into that one. The item that I had for at least 2 years, if not longer, was by the brand Igara. Not sure if I'm saying that right, and I've never seen this again since picking it up. But it was this gray V-neck cashmere cotton sweater in a size medium. So you can tell this person was all about that like cashmere cotton, throw some silk in there maybe blend. But it's just really funny that they happened to find this sweater in my closet, as well as the Banana Republic pieces. This one, it says I had $1.02 into. That is wrong. I had like 80 cents into that because I picked that up at a local consignment store when it was like the height of COVID. They let me go into their storage unit and basically pick by myself. I just got to look through all of their boxes and all of their racks and throw stuff in a bag because, stores weren't open. Like everyone was closed. And so, they got to make some money. I got to source some stuff for real cheap. Most of that stuff has sold by this point, except for things like this sweater. So I was so happy when this made its way into this bundle. The bundle sold for $66. I had $5.02 into that bundle. That was my cost of goods. And so my profit on those 3 sweaters was $47.78. And I thought that was a really great profit for those 3 pieces. This next item to sell is a great example of the fact that if you just list great things, they will sell and make you money. We had visited my in-laws not too long ago, and she sent me home with bags of just stuff. And some of it was really good stuff. Some of it went straight to Goodwill, but this was one of the good stuff. And I don't even know where this came from. I don't think it was my father-in-law's. I think it was just, something that someone had given them from their church or something like that. But it was this vintage Burberry green 100% merino wool turtleneck sweater in a size 2XL. That's how I know it was not my father-in-law's. He would have been swimming in that thing. This thing sold within a day of being listed for $55. And I didn't have any money into that because, like I said, I got it from my parents-in-law. And so I made a net profit of $44 on that sweater. And better yet, it just sold so quickly. And that's a testament of why it's important to list frequently, consistently, and to try to list the best stuff that you can find. And then on eBay, I had another great sale. It was this Eileen Fisher seafoam button front shirt jacket in a size large. This item sold for $49.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. I had $5.99 into that. It was something that I found at a local thrift store, and I've had it in my possession for a decent amount of time. Basically, the second I listed it, it sold within, like a handful of days. So again, it's really hard, if not impossible, for things to sell if you don't get around to listing them. And when I sat my butt down and just got to listing, the pieces that I really wanted to move did, and I was able to make some money off of those initial investments, aka the items that I picked up. So my net profit on that Eileen Fisher jacket was $36.81. And then on Mercari, I sold this pair of Athleta black stellar tight leggings in a size small. They had pockets. These sold for $27 on Mercari. I had $5.99 into them from a local thrift store, I believe. And so I made a net profit of $17.03. I think that those were listed for under a month, not too bad. Athleta will sell. It usually sits a little bit for me, unless you're finding like a really sought after piece from Athleta, but I don't feel like there are that many, super sought after pieces from Athleta. They're just slower movers for me in general. Moving on to Tuesday, which was November 8th. Y'all, I sold 2 things on Depop. Like basically, I'm like a bona fide Depop seller now. I sold 3 things on Depop this week, and next week I sold 2 things on Depop. I mean, like, we are killing the Depop game over here, okay? Now, this first item is not super impressive because it's a little ridiculous, but the brand was LY-1981. I don't know. It was this UK graphic short sleeve t-shirt in a size large. Like, it had maybe like a big graphic print of like the flag. I don't know. It sold for $15 with me paying for shipping. But I've had this in my possession. It's been listed now for like, I want to say close to 3 years. It's something that my brother just gave me for free. And so I just went ahead and listed it. I made a profit of $7.85 on that, even after shipping it out and paying for the shipping and after Depop's fees. So not horrible, but like, do you need to be on the lookout for this? Absolutely not. Like, if you don't mind things sitting around for a bajillion years and then you only making $7.85, go ahead and knock yourself out. But I'm here to tell you, like, you can pass this by the next time you see it at the thrift store. The next thing to sell was a much better. It was this vintage Croft and Barrow, which you might be saying, Croft and Barrow, like I see that all the time at the thrift store and I pass on it. As you should. But this was vintage, and this one was a 3D knit textured sweater in a men's size extra large, aka it was that old school 90s Cosby style sweater, or like you can use keywords like hip hop and 90s and all that kind of stuff. This item came to me in a Fleek box. Fleek is an online vintage wholesale platform, and they had reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in working with them and making a video, and I will link that video right here. Actually, I forgot which side I was supposed to point at. It's over here. I've only made the one purchase, but holy crap was I impressed with the pieces that I got, this being one of them. So I purchased one box of like 25 vintage men's sweaters or something like that, and I show the sweaters in that video. This particular sweater sold for $60. They did give me some credit to work with when I was purchasing that box, so my cost of goods only came out to $1.82. I think if I hadn't received the credit, it would have been about like $15.80 per piece, which, for this item, that's still leaving me with a lot of profit. But given the fact that they did give me a discount to work with, I made a net profit on that sweater of $47.89. I have never in my life listed anything like this before with like the textured 3D knit. Now I know I need to be on the lookout for these at all times. Like everywhere I go, I just need to be like, are you here? Are you here? Because these things, the second they got listed, would get so much attention on a variety of platforms. And so if you ever come across anything that has this look, it's that Coogee style sweater, even if it's not by the Coogee brand, even if it's Croft and Barrow, you're going to make some good money. If you find a Coogee sweater though that looks like this, I think you're going to make north of $200, $250, which is pretty amazing. But $60 for Croft and Barrow, that's not too shabby, friends. The next sale was over on Facebook Marketplace. It was another one of my friend's sweaters. So it was a Banana Republic blue silk cotton cashmere blend V-neck sweater in a size small. This one sold for $18 on Facebook Marketplace. Again, we're saying I had $2 into it, so I made a net profit of $14.74. I have listed the majority of the stuff that I got from this particular friend, and some of the pieces have sold for a ton, some have sold very moderately like this one, but because I sat down and listed that stuff, it's moving. And I firmly do believe that when you make sales on a platform, it kind of triggers the algorithm in your favor and more eyes see your other pieces. So even if it's not like an $800 piece or something that you're super excited about, I say go ahead and list it, because you never know who's looking for exactly that, and if you make that sale, you never know what further sales you're going to get as a result. The next thing to sell was actually a direct sale. This went out to a viewer, and I will put her name right here because I don't have her name. I just have her daughter's name because she bought this for her daughter, which was so sweet. And it was this torrid white watercolor floral spaghetti strap dress in a size 4X. This sold for $35 with me paying for shipping. I had $5.25 into it from a local thrift store. I think she saw the dress in a haul video, and I will link that haul video right here. It was actually a really great haul. I picked up some really great pieces, and as a result, she reached out to me and was like, I really want that dress before you list it. And so we were able to make it happen, and I made a profit of $19.74. I just thought this dress was so sweet. Torrid can be very hit or miss, but the truth is they do make some beautiful pieces, and if you're not picking up the super basic items, you can do really well with Torrid. On Wednesday, which was November 9th, I had a decent number of Poshmark sales, and I'm not sure why. I don't think that I did anything super special. except for List. So the first thing that sold was this eShakti black embroidered rabbit print skater dress in a size 4X. eShakti is a pretty decent brand. I feel like for me, it sits for a while, and you have to be careful because they will custom make pieces for people based off of their measurements. So you want to make sure that you don't get something that's like super custom and won't fit like, the majority of people out there in the world. But this one was one of their standard pieces. I thought it was so cute. I was kind of expecting it to sell around Easter because of all the embroidered bunny rabbits, but it sold in November for $25. I had $2.52 into it from a local consignment store when they were running their birthday sale, and it was a fill-a-bag type of sale, so I had $2.52 into each item, and I made a profit on that dress of $17.48. I don't know about you, I do feel like I have a hard time finding good quality and like super cute plus size pieces in my area, and so whenever I am thrifting, I always make a point to go into the plus size section or just in the larger sizes in an attempt to try and find really great plus size pieces. And I thought this was a really fun one, and it did not last in my store for very long. Someone snatched it up really quickly. The next thing to sell was by the brand Spanx, which is one of my favorite brands to sell, especially when it comes to their denim. This was a pair of high-rise ankle raw hem boot cut ombre jeans in a size large. I have sold this exact pair of jeans, this like ombre boot cut jean. This is my third time, I believe. So these sell really well and they sell really quickly. These sold for $50. I had $10.05 into it from that pop-up consignment sale I talked about at the beginning of the video. And so I made a profit of $29.95. And not only that, but these sold really, really fast, and I am always here for a quick flip. This next sale made me so happy, and I know it is one of the reasons why I was able to meet my weekly goal as far as net profits are concerned, but it was this new with tags Coach denim blue storm jacket. It was hooded, and it was basically a windbreaker, super lightweight. It was in a women's size extra large, and it still had the tags attached. Just brand new, hanging out at a local thrift store for $13.99. That's what they were asking. The jacket retailed for about $400, I believe. I listed it for $200. I tend to list new with tags items for about half of their MSRP. If it's a really coveted piece and everyone is still freaking out about it, or it's like super trendy or something, I might charge closer to, the original price. But for most things, I will charge about half of what it retailed for. So I had this listed for $200. But about a couple weeks after I listed it, I got an offer for $140 on this. And even though, it hadn't been listed for super long and I could have countered and all of that, I just thought to myself, you know what? A $140 sale on something that I picked up for $13.99. That's pretty good. So I just went ahead and accepted. I made a profit of $98.01 on that jacket, and I think I made the right call. Let me know what you would have done. Let me know if you would have countered or just flat out declined, but I feel pretty good about the choice that I went with. The next thing to sell was this pair of vintage Old Navy bootcut mid-rise jeans in a size 6. They had zippered pockets. They very much had a Y2K vibe, and like I said, they were vintage, so they probably were from, like the late 90s, early 2000s. These came to me in a thread-up denim rescue box. It's actually a box that I unboxed on Whatnot. It was a rough box. There were hardly any items that people wanted to buy on Whatnot from that box, which I don't blame them. And I kept telling them, like, please do not buy things from me because you feel bad. Like, just get things that you actually want. And despite the fact that this box is wretched, just from that Whatnot sale, I was able to cover the cost of the box and then some. And then I was able to list a few of the pieces to resell, on the different platforms that I sell on. And this was one of them. So it sold for $20. I didn't have any money into it because I made all of that money from the Whatnot sale. So I made a net profit on those jeans of $16. Not bad for a pair of Old Navy jeans. The next thing to sell was another vintage piece. I feel like I've been doing really well with vintage items. It was this Woolrich blue 100% wool crew neck sweater made in Ireland in a men's size extra large. This was another sweater that came out of that Fleek box, and it sold for $34 $20 with discounted shipping because of a Chrome extension that I use called PosherVA. I have it linked down in the description below with my coupon code BECKYPARK that you can use to save 20% off of your first payment of PosherVA. But again, I only had about $1.82 into this because of the discount that I got from Fleek for working with them. And so I made a net profit on that sweater of $23.66. The next item to sell was over on eBay. This was another really great sale. You know, you need a few of these higher price sales in order to meet such a lofty goal as $833 of net profit in a week, and this certainly helped. It was this pair of Nike Special Field SF Air Deep burgundy ankle boots in a size 9.5. I saw these at a Plato's Closet during their clearance sale, and these were clearance down. They weren't clearance down to nothing. I did have, $37.50 into them. So imagine how much they had them priced at to begin with. But I saw them and immediately grabbed them because I was like, these are really cool, and I'm willing to bet that they're worth some good money. And I was right. I listed them for $99.99. They sold for my full asking price, and they were promoted at 3% on eBay, and so I made a net profit of $40.98 on those. I have shared in past videos about how I stink at selling Nikes and just like sneakers in general, but even I know that boots from Nike tend to do really well. The next thing to sell was this pair of Banana Republic jeans. Unfortunately, they were returned to me because of a fit issue, and so I'm not going to count the profits from that here, but just know these had sold and now they're back in my house. The next item to sell was over on Mercari, and it was this cool lyric beige long sleeve knit v-neck sweater in a size extra small for women. This came to me in a wholesale pallet from a reseller. There were a good number of stains on it, I remember, so I asked my husband to get the stains out because he's really good at that and I'm not. It sold for $19 after the stains were removed, and I had $3.92 into that item because that was the average cost of goods per sellable item in that pallet, and so I made a net profit of $12.13. I love selling cool, but these kind of more basic pieces are not really what's going to make you a lot of money when it comes to cool pieces. I think what does really well for cool are their pants, especially for men, as well as their outerwear. If you can find that kind of stuff by this brand, you can do really well for yourself. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is November 10th, which was a Thursday. On eBay, I sold this new with tags Title IX green Sunbuster Stink Stopper half zip pullover. This sold for $30, and I only had $2.52 into it from a local consignment store for their birthday sale. That was the fill a bag sale that I talked about earlier. And so I made a net profit of $23.25. That sold within probably 3 to 4 weeks of being listed. I just thought it was really funny that literally on the tag it said stink stopper. So I guess there's something within the fabric that kind of eliminates odor, which I guess would be really great if you're out doing things like camping, fly fishing, just outdoorsy things where maybe you don't have access to a nice hot shower as much as you would at home. So I'm happy that some outdoor enthusiast was able to get this from my eBay store for a really good deal. On Mercari, I sold this Patricia Nash Floral Valerie Wildflower Pouchet Wristlet bag. I was really excited when I found this at the consignment store birthday sale because I had never found Patricia Nash before, and I just thought it had the most beautiful boho, like cottagecore, almost Western aesthetic to it. I just thought it was so lovely. It sold for $36. I only had $2.52 into it, and so I made a net profit of $28.34. The next thing to sell was over on Depop. This was my third Depop sale, so watch out, Depop sellers. I am about to, nothing. Don't watch out for anything. But I sold this vintage Country Sophisticates by Pendleton blue blouse in a women's size 2X on Depop. It sold for $19. I had $2 into it from a ThredUp bulk mixed rescue box, I believe, and so my net profit on that was $10.20. This took me a little bit longer to list, one because it went on my rack of items that needed to get steamed, and I get to that rack once every 4 months. I feel like things get put on that rack and they just sit there for an eternity until I have time to sit there and steam through a bunch of stuff. And then it also took a while because it didn't have a size on it, I believe, and so I just had to go off of measurements, and I just kind of guessed, what size I thought it was, but I think I did a pretty good job. I don't know what happens on Depop if someone wants to return something. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I didn't get any communication saying this is too small or this isn't a 2X or anything like that. So, when that happens, when I don't know the size of something because it's not on the garment itself, I will just look up size guides online and go off of those to figure out what I think the size is. And in this case, it worked out pretty nicely. The next thing to sell was another direct sale. You guys, I had 3 direct sales this week too, which again, I think helped in the sense that I am making a little bit more money per sale than I would if I were selling it online using a reselling platform, because we are able to eliminate those platform fees. And that really worked out with this particular sale because it was this dress to kill gray sweater with like all these like little cutouts and like slits, almost like someone just like went through with a pair of scissors or like a razor and just made all these random cuts in the sweater. I don't know. It was very kind of like swingy, and a word that I would have used to describe it if I did go through the process of listing it online is the word login look, which is definitely one of the key words that I would use whenever selling a dress to kill piece online, because it had that very flowy, layered look and just kind of baggy and oversized. A viewer reached out to me, and again, I don't know why I didn't write the name down, but I will write it right here. A viewer reached out to me about this piece because she collects dress to kill, and she saw that I had picked it up in a recent haul video that I did from a local thrift store. I already linked to that earlier, but I'll also link it down in the description below. And she was like, I collect dress to kill. I really want that sweater that you found. I think it's so cool. So we negotiated a little bit and settled on the price of $70 shipped. I had $3.75 into that sweater, if you can believe it or not. Dress to kill is such an expensive brand, and I think it's especially because I don't know that there's a dress to kill store. I'm not even sure if they have like a designated website, but what I know is they do trunk shows. And so it's just harder to find this brand, and I don't think that it ever goes on sale. So even when you are reselling it, it really holds its value. So it was crazy to me that I found a piece in the wild. I'm very used to finding it at my pop-up consignment sale that I go to twice a year, but I don't know that I've ever found it at a thrift store. But I found a few pieces this last time that I went, which was really exciting because I had to pay so much less for them than I do at the pop-up consignment sale. So I made a net profit on that sweater of $55.54. So to you who bought it, I hope you love it. She actually did reach back out and was like, this is my new favorite sweater. Thank you so much for the great deal. And I'm just really excited that I could pass it on to a viewer who loves this brand. Let's talk about Friday, which was November 11th. On Poshmark, I sold this really sweet Zara white flutter ruffle sleeve pullover sweater in a size extra large. This sold for $25, and I picked it up at Plato's for $4.80. I typically don't pick up too much Zara. I just feel like Zara is pretty oversaturated online. It's kind of fast fashion. It's, usually not like the highest quality stuff, but this was just so sweet and so beautiful. I could not leave it behind, and I was rewarded with a quick sale and a decent profit. I made $15.20 on that piece, and it did get a lot of attention the moment I listed it. So I'm glad I trusted my gut and that I was able to send it to its new home. The next item to sell was over on Mercari. It was this Lily Pulitzer blue animal and ocean button-down pajama top in a size large. I got it at the consignment sale birthday store. I did not know it was a pajama top, but when I was hauling it, I was like, so this is probably a pajama top, and I was right. I used Google Image, is that what it's called? The thing that, Google Lens, that's what it is. I used Google Lens to figure out what this was, and it was indeed a pajama top, but it still sold on Mercari for $18, and I only had $2.52 into it, so I made a profit of $12.66. And for it being a pajama top without the matching bottoms, I am shocked that it sold as quickly as it did. So, you just list the things and they will sell. The next thing to sell on Mercari was actually a bundle sale. Now, this bundle sale was made, I believe, before Mercari introduced their bundle feature. I have not yet made a bundle sale since that bundle feature has been released, and so I still don't really know how it works. Let me know down in the comments below if you have sold a bundle on Mercari using that new bundle feature and how easy it was. Is it as simple as it is on Poshmark? I would love to know, and I would love to make more bundle sales in the future on Mercari, but instead I had to do it the old school way, which is I made a new listing with the 2 items that this person wanted. So the first item to sell from this bundle was this vintage Consensus, which is another brand that I do not pick up when I see it at the thrift store, but because this was vintage, it was just a lot cooler. It was this striped Henley sweater. It was a men's piece from that Fleek box, so I only had $1.82 into it, and even I thought it was pretty cool, even though I tend to, like I said, turn my nose up at Consensus. And then the next item was really cool. It was this Disney Golf Mickey sweater. It had like a big patch of Mickey. I think he had like a golf club and he was like swinging back as if he was was about to swing forward and hit a golf ball. He was a little dirty. I believe maybe it was like on his face, like he had a little stain or something. It was not in pristine condition. And if I remember correctly, there was some pilling on the sweater as well. But I sold those 2 sweaters for $77. I had $3.64 into both of those pieces. So I still made a net profit of $62.93. Like I said, vintage just did so well for me this week. It's definitely a category that I want to get into more when it comes to clothing. It's something that I'm dipping my toes in because I don't know that much about it. I don't want to get overwhelmed with it because I know that that's something that can happen if you go all in on a brand new category and just, acquire too much inventory for that category quickly. I actually just made a video on this topic of how to source more and how to source better inventory, and I will link that video right here, but it talks about, yes, it's good to explore new categories, but also some pitfalls to be aware of. And while I want to, definitely explore vintage, I'm going to make sure that I don't jump in too hard and just freak myself out. The last thing to sell this day was another direct sale. It was actually a result of a Whatnot show that I did. So I think the Saturday before I had done a Whatnot show of just stuff that my daughter had worn and she had outgrown. And one of those pieces was a vintage Christmas mock neck sweater. It was so sweet. It had it was kind of like 3D, if you will, like elements kind of like popped out at you. It was really, really cute. And a viewer who also happened to be at that Whatnot show reached out to me after the show and was like, hey, I could not stop thinking about that sweater. And so, could I buy it from you directly? And I was like, of course. And so I sold it to her for $10 shipped because I was selling it for much less on Whatnot. But because I was going to cover shipping, that's why I charged a little bit more. And so I made a net profit of $3.49 on that. I don't know that my daughter ever ended up wearing it just because she hates sweaters and has all of her life. But I remember picking it up at a thrift store or at a, local consignment store for her. So I'm just saying I didn't have any cost of goods into it. And that went to Yvonne. So Yvonne, thank you so much. And she actually sent me a picture of her daughter wearing the sweater and it was so darling. And I just am filled with so much joy when I'm able to pass on, especially children's clothing, to other people. And then especially to a viewer. That was so special. So thank you so much for supporting me and for showing me how cute your daughter looked in that sweater. You guys, my lips are so chapped. And so I feel like I have to keep pausing to put on more chapstick. Let me know what you do about chapped lips because it gets so bad for me in the winter. And actually I use this. I'm kind of running out, so I feel like I need to get more. This is just from Amazon. It's ginger sugar overnight lip mask, except I use it not just at night. This is a Korean brand. I am not sponsored by them or anything. They don't know who I am. But someone told me about this and they were, my best friend Jane. She was like, you need to get this. This is so good. And so I did, and it has saved my life. This is a huge tangent, so I apologize. All right. So on Saturday, which was November 12th, I had 2 Poshmark sales. The first one was another item that I have had in my possession for it's 2 or 3 years now. It was from that same consignment store where they let me shop in their storage unit. It was this Beach by Exist striped nautical anchor mini dress. I think this really is kind of like a swimsuit cover. You throw it on, over your swimsuit after you get out of the pool or out of the beach. It sold for $25, which was my full asking price. I don't subscribe to the idea that you should just keep dropping your price on items until it sells. I know a lot of people will do that. I just kind of keep prices the same price that they are. Sometimes I'll run a sale on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes I will send out very aggressive offers on Poshmark, but I don't just sit there and change the listing price of items. And even though this had been sitting in my closet for over 2 years, I just kept it at $25. And finally someone was like, $25? Sure, I'll give you $25. I had $1.80 into it because it was, from that consignment store. So I made a profit finally after just way too long of $18.20. So moral of the story, just stick firm to your price and hope for the best. I don't know. The next thing to sell was this pair of Nike Pro Hyper Warm training tights. They were in this white color in a size small. These I picked up at a local consignment store for $14.99. There weren't a whole ton of comps, I remember, but I just felt very confident that I could sell these for at least $40. They actually sold on eBay not too long ago, and the person hated how they fit, so she returned them to me. She wanted me to know how horribly they fit. As if it was my fault. As if I made these myself in my own little sweatshop in my home. Anyway, I just went ahead and relisted them. They sold again on Poshmark for $34, and so I made a profit of $10.49. In hindsight, did I need to pick these up? Absolutely not, but I just thought they were so cool. They were so unique. They had these like straps at the waist that overlapped, and I don't know, I just thought they were really cool. I would not pick them up again though, especially because apparently I don't make them very well in my home sweatshop. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Sunday, which was November 13th. On Poshmark, I sold this pair of Levi's 501 high-rise skinny button-fly jeans in a size 29. These sold for $42 with discounted shipping because of PosherVA. I had $16 into them. I think I got them at a local consignment store, and honestly, that was probably a bit much for these, but I did make a profit of $15.88. I also think I got kind of lucky selling them for $42, so not really an item that I would pick up for that price in the future. I would definitely pick them up again, just not for $16. The next thing to sell was over on eBay. It was this new with tags Eileen Fisher dark taupe 100% wool straight leg pair of pants in a size medium. These were super flawed. Like they had so many holes all over them, and I don't know how, I don't know why. They were new with tags. Like the tags were still there and the tags were in great condition, just so many holes. So I made sure to take pictures of all of the holes. I made sure to write that there were holes in the description, and I still listed them for $49.99 because they were brand new. They were made of a great material. If they didn't have all those holes, I would have listed it for probably double that amount. They sold for $49.99, probably within a couple weeks of being listed. I was certain that I was going to hold on to these forever, but I just went ahead and listed them because that's what you do when you acquire inventory. You list it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I had $6.38 into those. I actually sourced them on Whatnot from a friend of mine, Ashley Wheeler. I hope you guys watch her YouTube channel and follow her on Instagram. She has really great content, especially centered around live sales. If you are very curious about Whatnot or about Poshmark live shows, she has been so consistent in doing them and has found a strategy that works for her. And, you know, just her business model allows for her to do a lot of those kinds of shows. So if you want to learn more about live shows especially, but also she has content on just reselling in general, definitely make sure that you give her a follow. Let her know that I sent you. She is a wonderful human being and you will love her to pieces. But I actually got these off of her, and so I made a net profit of $34.07. So Ashley, thank you. The last sale of the week that we'll talk about was this pair of Echo Touch 15 dress leather ballerina flats in the color gravel. They were in a European size 42 and they were like a bronzy color. These sold for $49.99. That was my full asking price. They were promoted at 3%. I had $9.99 into those from a local Goodwill, I'm pretty sure, and I made a profit of $31.16. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel, that I have like a love-hate relationship with Echo. Usually Echo sits for me for months and months and months. Like it'll sell, it just sits for a long time. These sat for probably 2 to 3 months, I want to say. They were definitely not a quick flip, but they were quicker than most of my other Echo flips. So I don't know. I still haven't figured out the magic sauce behind selling Echo, but we're figuring it out. So let's talk about my numbers for the week. On Poshmark, I sold 14 items for a gross sales amount of $571. Once you factor in their fees and once you factor in any shipping discounts that I offered through PosherVA, that total drops to $451.64. My cost of goods for those 14 items was $81.04, and so my net profit on Poshmark was $370.60, which was really gratifying because like last week, well, maybe not last week, but like in weeks prior to this, I didn't even make a net profit of $370 with all of my platforms combined. So I had a really great week on Poshmark. I had really great weeks on, other platforms as well. So it was really wonderful to have Poshmark finally step up a little bit. On eBay, I sold 6 items for a gross sales amount of $295.87. Once you factor in eBay's fees, including promoted listings and including maybe any shipping discrepancies that may have occurred, that total drops to $241.38. I hit $64.38 into those items, and so I made a net profit on eBay of $177. On Mercari, I sold 6 items, which is kind of a lot for me in a week on Mercari, and that was for a gross sales amount of $177. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $151.68. My cost of goods for those 6 items was $18.59, and so my net profit on Mercari was $133.09. I had 3 Depop sales, which makes me like a top seller on Depop. I don't know. My gross sales amount on Depop was $94. Once you factor in Depop's fees and the fact that I paid for shipping on all of those items, I only pay for shipping on Depop and Citizen. But as a result, I also like mark up my pricing a little bit to account for that. And so once you factor in those things, my total drops to $69.76. My cost of goods for those 3 items came out to $3.82. And so my net profit was $65.94. I had 1 Facebook Marketplace sale for a gross sales amount of $18. Once you factor in their very low fees, that total drops to $16.74. I had $2 into that item, and so I made a net profit of $14.74. And then I had 3 direct sales to viewers. So thank you so much for watching my video and reaching out about an item that you just could not live without. That gross sales amount was $115. And once you factor in shipping that I paid for, and maybe like a PayPal fee or something like that, that total drops to $87.77. I had $9 into those 3 items, and so my net profit was $78.77. So in total, I sold 33 items for a gross sales amount of $1,270.87. My profit, once you factor in shipping and any sort of platform fees, drops to $1,018.97. And then my cost of goods for those 33 items was $178.83. And so my net profit for the week was $840.14, which, like I said, felt so good to finally hit my goal. And it's because, like we talked about already, I was listing items. I was very consistent with my listing. I was listing a little bit more than I typically do. And I was listing items that had a higher sales price. And all of those things combined, I think, helped me hit my goals. You may have also noticed that I sold things on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different platforms if you include direct sales, 5 if you don't. And that is only because of a service that I use called List Perfectly. List Perfectly enables me to cross list to a bunch of different platforms super quickly. And not only that, but that's what I use to manage my inventory. So if you want to check out List Perfectly and save 30% in the process on your first month of List Perfectly, definitely check it out. I do have it linked down below, and you can save that 30% by using my coupon code, which is BECKYPARK. I do attribute a lot of the success that I had this week to List Perfectly, to PosherVA, but also to the fact that I got off my butt. Actually, I got on my butt to list because I list sitting down. But I stopped being lazy and I forced myself to list, and as a result, I just had some really great sales, and Lord knows I needed these numbers. So that is today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.